What's up, Rupert here from Grounded Permaculture. In this video, I'm calling bullshit on the idea that you need chemicals and poisons to do bush regen and that it's the most efficient way to do it, right? So, who am I and how do I have any authority to speak about this? Well, Grounded has now this season started doing corporate contract kind of bush regen. I'm on the first site that we've planted out, which is 4,000 trees on the Nerang riverbank. And I personally and Grounded, we don't use any chemicals in any of our activities to kill any sort of life. So here we are doing this job. Now typically a standard conventional bush regenerator would come through here and they would spot spray these spots where all these trees are going to grow, and to try and use as minimal spray as possible, but then not have to do as much work with the maintenance and the brush cutting to keep the grass back so the trees can get established. Trees like this little guy here, the sandpaper fig, right? But because we don't want to use chemicals, we've got to use brush cutters and hand tools, essentially. Like, we can't really get the mowers in here. And so it is actually a little bit more time, a little bit more labor. So it is arguably does cost a little bit more on the job. But we're doing these jobs anyway without it. And there's other contractors out there doing these kind of jobs without chemicals, and they're still doing it with a decent margin. Yet, a friend of mine is doing the bush regen course at Kingscliff, TAFE, and then she comes back from the course and says, you know, they make a pretty good case for the chemicals, right? We only use a little bit, it's very efficient, it saves time and money, and in 3 to 5 years, you have a forest. Wake up call, in 3 to 5 years, with good management, successional management, you'll have a forest anyway, probably even faster. So I'm calling bullshit on this idea that you need chemicals to do bush regen. It's fucking nonsense. It does take a little bit more time, a little bit more energy, a little bit more work in the narrow defined scope of labor, right? Because you could say that it is actually more energy to use the chemicals, right? If you think of the embodied energy in a tub of chemicals, the amount of mining, technology, industry, human effort that goes to make it, that's a lot of energy, right? And you might say, well, the price just says that it's cheaper. Well, the price is distorted because we're measuring in a fiat central bank manipulated digital currency, not digital, but it is kind of digital. And they have skewed the incentives, right? So all these players in the chemical production industry, they've got massive incentives and rebates and tax discounts and all sorts of shit, right? So that they can make their products cheaper to try and keep them alive, so they keep peddling it. But what's happening right now in the world is that the world is waking up that we don't need government money to be able to trade with each other. And so the true price and the true cost of things like chemical fertilizers or even poisons to kill things around it are coming to light. And we are going to see that regenerating land, whether we're doing bush regen, whether we're doing agroforestry to grow food, or even just, cattle management, we're going to see that the most efficient, cheapest way to do it is going to be the most low-tech way, nearly, right? So we might even have to get to the point of not using brush cutters if the price of fuel, the true cost of fuel, comes through. Anyway, that's my little download for the morning, coming from the side of the Nerang riverbank. We planted 4,000 trees, and we've just got another 2,000 we planted down the next property over, and we've got another 6,000 to do up here. So that's it. Call them bullshit on the idea of using chemicals for bush regen. Let me know what you think of this video. Drop a comment, like, subscribe, follow, all the things. Tell me I'm crazy. Peace.